Hello and welcome to Scottish Car Enthusiasts and Trains TV, and it's our Bring Back Max Power series as we start a new series of looking at the very first edition of Max Power magazine. So why not grab a brew, either a cold or a hot beverage, and follow along with me as we open the envelope to reveal the very first edition Max Power magazine. And it had to be upside down. And here we are, the very first edition of Max Power magazine from May 1993, and it was £2 in the shops. And what have we got? We've got a throbbing purple monster. We drive and survive the UK's loudest turbo 205. Give your Golf Mark 1 GTI balls. Buy a sound Renault 5 turbo. Install a thumping ice system. Get fishy with £2,500 worth of Piranha alarms. And win an Escort Cosworth. Unreal competition, totally real car. Street Fighters, road legal, race winning escorts inside. So why are we bringing back Max Power? Well, this magazine is 30 years old. Coming up for 30 years old, and it'll be 30 years of Max Power magazine. So we're going to be attending the reunion show at the Staffordshire Showground in Stafford on the 23rd of July 2023. If you're looking to attend the reunion show yourself, then check out the Max Power Reunion Show Instagram page on Instagram. And from there, you'll be able to get taken to a Pacific website where you can purchase tickets for the reunion show. So without much further ado, why don't we get into this edition of Max Power magazine? So we kick off with a double page spread for Duckham's QXR. So what does this Pacific Oil does? It lubricates plain bearing in turbos at 100,000 RPM, faster than a helicopter rotor. It's counter friction of pistons accelerating at 14,500 meters per second, faster than a bullet. It lubricates big end bearings under pressure of 1000 psi. It lubricates the valve train components accelerating at 1000 grams. In Koenig Specials Competition Evolution 1000 brake horsepower, 236 mile an hour on test track at Munich, or München, world's most powerful road car. Ignition. So this is the contents page of Max Power. Cover story is this: Simon Merritt's throbbing purple monster explodes in an unseemly manner. Mattig's wide-arched GTE going round a roundabout in Scotland. Picture to the right shows Damien with some wheels on him. Sure is chunky. Yes, girls, we really have to work with him. Win this Escort Cosworth. Then you've got your maxed motors, so you've got an Escort RS Turbo, a Mattig Astra GTE, Golf CL Mark 1, Escort RS 2000, Rover Vitesse. You've got Max Motorsport with Richard Burns, BTCC preview, Tim Harvey, Max Technical. You've got Installing Ice, Golf Lessons, Power Surgery, Green Tuning, Camshaft and Carburetor Swap. Standard kit, you've got Max Torque, Write-Off, Greg's Column, Alarms Competition, Going Places, Motor Mouth. Buying guide, you've got Mega Max test, Top Gear, special deal, 5-go turbo, insurance, wheels, performance info. Throbbing purple monster. Simon Merritt's Dimma 205 gets noticed, but who knows why. So, why don't we have a look at the tech spec on the 205. So we've got a 1905cc 4-cylinder 8-valve engine, fuel injected with additional injector mounted in the throttle body. Longman big valve, gas flowed cylinder head, standard bottom end, Turbo Technics installed Garrett T25 turbo with 2-stage boost controller. Front mounted air intercooler, Turbo Technics nickel alloy exhaust manifold, tube torque big bore system, a K&N air filter, 10-row oil cooler, compression ratio lowered to 8.6.1, wide heat range spark plugs, modified electronic ignition, detection technique super trip. Max power 210 brake horsepower at 5000 RPM. Max torque 200 pounds-feet of torque at 3000 RPM. Max boost is 0.65 bar. Transmission wise, it's standard except for Turbo Technics uprated clutch. Suspension wise, it's got front Bilstein gas adjustable shock absorbers with lowered springs. Rear, it's got Coney gas adjustable shocks and altered settings for the torsion bar. OMP strut brace. Wheels and tyres are Dimma design, 7x16 inch alloys front and 8x16 rear, covered in Fulda 205 45 ZR rubber. Braking systems taken care of with front Tarox discs and pads, rear standard, competition brake fluid and braided pipes. Bodywork, its paint is Dimma wide arched kit, finished in Sikkens 2-pack special effects blue purple, paint mixed by Dimma. Ice and security. Head unit is an Alpine free stack front loading CD player, 2 Alpine 280 watt amps, 2 Infinity 10 inch bass, 2 Infinity 4 inch mids, 2 Infinity 10 inch tweeters, 4 Infinity roof speakers, 2 Clarion visor speakers, Vectra immobilizer, Piranha alarm system, Whistler radar alert. Interior wise, it's got full leather interior, recarpeted Momo Corsa leather steering wheel, OMP drilled pedals. Insurance, Simon is in the car business, so his 205 is on a trader's policy. And next up we have some serious rubber from Yokohama and this Varer Pink Fiesta Mark II. Also TSW Sportline alloy wheels. Next up we have an advert for, a double page spread for an interview with Richard Burns. Interviewer is Vicki Butler Henderson. Bet you never suspected that Vicki Butler Henderson was involved with Max Power back in the day. Itsy bitsy teeny weeny lit the black and thumping CD. This is a double page advert for Panasonic Car Hi-Fi. Then we have an advert, the Max Torque editors page. So Graham Steed was the editor. Already alluded to, Vicki Butler Henderson was involved with Max Power, and she was a staff writer on the magazine. So new, it's a word that gets abused more than a set of Tim Harvey's race tyres. Usually it's just a gimmick of the disguise, the same old stuff in a different wrapper, but not this time. By picking Max Power up, you've proved a point. It's time for a new and radically different magazine to show the performance, tuning and styling scene some respect. time to really reflect what's going on and to do it in a way everyone can relate to. Max Power has plenty of humour, and even more attitude, but no jargon and no BS. Every month, Max Power will give you essential info on how to modify your car, what you can do, how it's done, the kit you'll need, and where to get it. It looks at which cars make the best project vehicles and how to buy a good one. There's news on everything to do with the tuning scene, the people, the places and the plonkers. And of course there's Max Motors, the meanest modified cars around, and the inside story on what they're like to drive and the people who build them. Moving over, we've got an advert for Kenwood Stereos and Face Off Stereo. Clarion Laughing, fitting front speakers. So this is technical stuff, and this is just a little guide on how to fit front speakers. So step 1 is to figure where to put the speakers. A is ideal for sound, but there's too much metal to chop out. B is next favourite, but the window mechanism is in the way, so we've settled for C. So you want to take the speaker and make sure there's enough clearance for it without fouling the window. Weather shields aren't needed since these speakers are waterproof. Next up, you want to establish the speaker position by checking between the door panel and the trim. Use the template supplied on the box and mark it out with a thick pen. Then drill a hole in the centre of the speaker fit area before cutting. Carefully cut the hole in the cloth on the interior side of the door trim using a sharp new Stanley knife or something similar. Don't use your teeth because you'll break them. And cut a hole in the cardboard going from the reverse side to prevent slipping and damaging the cloth trim. Mark out a circle from the centre hole. When the speaker is in place, drill holes for the cable runs. Take care not to drill any hinge strengthening or wiring ones. Paint bare metal and fit a grommet before shrouding the cable in heat shrink wrap. Cable should be run on the outside of a door to prevent possible fouling with the window. Run through to the interior from the door first, leaving slack at the speaker end. Fit cable underneath dash panel and trim at radio slot. Once the cable and speaker are in position, replace the trim. Once more, check it doesn't foul the window before final installation. Next up we have fitting rear speakers. So you want to mark out the speaker positions in the same way as for the front using template supplied on the box. Because the shelf is steel backed, cut the holes using an electric jigsaw. If you don't have one, use lots of elbow grease and a hacksaw. Fixing screws tap straight into metal. Cables should be taped together for neatness and run under the carpet and tread panel alongside the driver's door. Tuck the cables in around the rear wheel arch trim panel. Pry this up with a screwdriver wrapped in tape or remove the whole panel to get access. A shelf plug can be used to connect the speakers, meaning the shelf can be removed for extra carrying capacity. Male and female spade terminals slot into matching sections of plug. Because the shelf is steel backed, screws can tap straight into the pilot holes. And fitting the head unit. First task is whipping out the standard factory unit. Dealers have special tools for this, and so do the thieves. You can use 4 rivets to release the spring-loaded teeth. Adapter panel needs filing out to accept the side mount cage. Clarion CRX74 comes with a large connector plug. Either cut this off or use appropriate connectors, as we did from the Maystar range. Bullet connectors for the cables are solid and can be removed if necessary. To identify speakers, connect a 9-volt battery across a pair of wires and listen to which unit makes a noise. Once all connections are made, install the cage and the dash. Cables must be tucked to the side because there's not much room in there. Aperture had rounded corners which need filing to take a square cage. Installed, the CRX74 looks neat and functional and sounds great. Extra ears were formed to hold bracket cage in place when set is withdrawn. Silicon spray back the black helps the first few fit remove operations. So cost wise for this, it was £376 total. The head unit was £215. Front speakers were £69, rear speakers were £70, a shelf plug £5, Maystar dash adapter £7 and Maystar connectors £10. So, this is the end of part 1 of our look at the very first edition of Max Power magazine from May 1993. If you've enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like and subscribe to Scottish Car Enthusiasts and Trains TV. We'll be back with part 2 of a look at the May 1993 edition of Max Power magazine in a couple of days' time. As always, feel free to like and subscribe to the video. Farewell.